I'm going to share with you a must-use tool for any existing property owner in Canmore and anyone who's thinking of purchasing property in Canmore. This is an interactive real estate map, and it is put out by the town of Canmore, and it has so many features that are so helpful, and you might not be familiar with this. So I'm going to start from the beginning and show you everything you need to know. This is called a property information viewer, but the easiest way to find it is simply go to Google and type in GIS Canmore. You'll scroll down to Property Information Viewer, and then you'll have to choose it once again. You'll click through this page, and then what comes up is a map of Canmore, and this can be scrolled out so you can see a much wider view, and you can scroll back in. We're going to remove this layer list for now, and we're just going to focus on the map. Here you can find any property that you're searching for in Canmore. You can do it by map. If you know what you're looking for, you can scroll right into the property that you are seeking. You can also do that simply by typing the address in here. You have to be pretty precise. It doesn't do a guess like a Google search will. If it's not perfect, it'll say it doesn't exist. So right here, I'm going to search for my RE/MAX real estate office. So this option comes up. So this is for the full building. It is a condominium. But because I put in the exact unit number, that is what is going to come up here as an option for us to see more information. So here you can see this is the square footage of the lot for the whole building. You can see the value. We can go to the code, which is going to tell you what kind of tax code there is for that property. So that's these last two numbers here. So if we click on code, it'll download the assessment codes. We can scroll down to 20, and you can see it says land and buildings, commercial and or visitor accommodation. With that and the assessed value, you will be able to find out what the tax is for that year for that particular property. In addition, you can find the municipal development plan, the land use bylaws, and the offsite levy information. For example, you can click on the land use bylaws, and then you can click on the link, and it will download for you. So on this map, you can scroll around and go to any miscellaneous building in town. I'm going to choose one at random here. If this is yours, I'm sorry. And we're just going to pull up a property, and you can see the square footage of the lot. You can see the total value applied to that lot and that property for tax purposes. You can see the code is 12. So again, we can go to the code, scroll down to 12, and you can see it's land, building, residential. Now let's add that layer list back. So we have a number of layers we can apply on top of the map. So let's say we want to see the land use districts for the different areas of town. So here you can see that this particular area is an R1, which is residential 1, so you can build single family homes in this area. This zoning here says PD, which is public district. So to get more information on what PD means, we can pull up the land use bylaws. So I'm going to remove this overlayer. Let's say you're looking at this particular house. Again, if this is yours, I'm sorry. And we are going to go to where it says land use bylaws. So we can click that. And we want to read what the land use bylaws are. It downloads, and we can pull that up. Scroll to where it says public district or public use district, and you can read what the permitted uses are, what the discretionary uses are, and the general regulations for that particular district. So anytime you're thinking of purchasing a property in Canmore, it is well worth pulling up this map, seeing what the zoning is in the property you're purchasing, as well as those around it, so you have an idea of what might be able to be developed there in the future. Another useful tool in this map is that you can look up the 10-minute response time areas. So your insurance company may ask if the property you're purchasing is within the 10-minute response time from the fire hall, and you can look this up and see if it is or not. A number of the overlays are water related. This is an excellent tool when you're thinking of purchasing. you can do your research and see if the property you're considering is indicated under any of the following overlays. You can look at specific elevations for overland flow of water. You can look at the provincial flood hazard mapping overland flow areas, flood fringe areas, floodway areas. If the property you are considering is indicated in any of these areas, you can do further research with your insurance company, with the municipality, which is the town of Canmore here, and with the province. Having this information prior to purchasing is always preferable. Here we'll see examples of the overland flow elevations. When you scroll in, you can look at the different elevations in different neighborhoods. This would be useful for a development permit if you were thinking of developing the basement into a basement suite, or if you wanted to redevelop a property by using the same foundation. You can explore the other overlays in regards to water flow, as well as a number of other topics. There is information on where habitat patches are and wildlife corridors. You can find some information in regards to steep creek hazards and those areas. You can review the areas that have undermining regulations in areas of Canmore. So this is a great source of information. There's a number of other tools that may or may not be as helpful, but it's worth exploring. So we have a drawing mode, and this allows you to, for example, put a pin somewhere. We could add some text. And we can add an arrow to that. So if you wanted to send something to another person and you wanted to highlight that particular area, there's a few options for how to do that. Maybe you're looking at a home in this neighborhood and you want to get an idea of approximately how large this park is. You could use the drawing mode again and draw an approximate shape. And it gives you the approximate size in square kilometers. And though these tools are here and they're convenient because they're right on the site, they are clunky to use. There's probably better options out there. For example, there is a measuring tool. So if you're buying in a particular neighborhood and you want to measure how far it is from the house to the school where the kids would be walking, you could use this tool. Google Maps probably does that far more efficiently. So the tools are here if you find them useful, but there's probably better ways to draw on a map and to measure things. The last option I want to show you is just the option that you can change it from this imagery vision to a topographic map. Some people just find that a little easier to wrap their heads around than looking at what you would think is a satellite map, but it's actually not. It's important to know that this imagery is aerial. So it's much more clear. You can get much more detail with these than you can with the satellite maps that you'll get from Google Earth, etc. On the other hand, because it is aerial, these were taken a number of years ago. So if we were to go out to a area that's under construction, it's quite a bit out of date. For example, this is up in Three Sisters, and it's showing quite a bit of area with their intended plans to build, where in actual fact, a lot of this is already built and they're just not updated on these photos yet. So just keep that in mind, that if you see something not developed, it doesn't mean that it isn't yet. I'm Jessica Stoner with the Jessica Stoner Real Estate Team in Canmore, Alberta. Thanks for watching.